Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another third-party unlicensed 1/6 scale figure unboxing and review video. Now today we are going to be taking a look at none other than the Zealot Sorcerer by Zensation. Now if you're sitting there scratching your head thinking, Justin, what on earth is a Zealot Sorcerer? Yeah, I was right there with you. This is Mads Mikkelsen's character of Caecilius from the first Doctor Strange movie. Now I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you out there watching didn't even know this figure existed. Back in the day when he came out, I skipped on him and I pretty much immediately regretted that decision. So after the hype for Doctor Strange 2, yeah, of course I went back and picked this guy up. Now unfortunately, because he is an older release, he is long since sold out. So your best bet to try and find him is probably, unfortunately, going to be the secondary market, eBay and your Facebook Marketplace and Facebook groups. Now if you are interested in seeing more third-party and Hot Toys reviews, why not hit that subscribe and bell notification icon so you're notified as soon as a brand new review goes live on the channel. What we are going to do now though is get the box laying flat in the light box and do the unboxing. Here of course we have the box art and it's relatively straightforward. You do have a magical portal up front with the evil Dormammu dark magic spell, Zealot Sorcerer and Zensation down below. Zealot Sorcerer on the side and then a bunch of product shots on the back of the box. Now, interestingly enough, they did tease an Ancient One, which they ended up releasing, but also I'm pretty sure that's a Christine Palmer, and unfortunately, they never actually released her. But seeing as she did play such a big role in the second movie, I would still love to get that figure. As for Mads Mikkelsen, I've always wanted a figure of him in 1/6 scale. And now I finally have one, and first in-hand impressions are really darn positive. What we are going to do now though is get all of his accessories laid out in the light box and take a closer look at everything he comes with. Here we have all the parts and pieces. Now unfortunately, you don't get a display base here. Now with the promo pics, they definitely showed one, so somewhere along the lines of production, Zensation must have just decided, nah, collectors don't need display bases, and omitted it entirely. You do, however, get two curved blade weapons, and these look awesome. Plus, they are made of real metal, which means the brushed finish on the surface isn't just there for show, it's because these are actually die-cast. You do have some removable sections down below, which makes it far easier to slot them into his hands. Speaking of hands, you do get a full array and they are nicely painted. There's multiple layers of skin texture and the paint applications are more than serviceable. Plus, one hand comes with the sling ring pre-attached, and oh yes, this sling ring is also die-cast. It's a nice shiny gold. I would have loved to have seen some washes in the crevices, but seeing as it's metal, I'll give Zensation a pass. What we are going to do now though is get the figure himself out here and take a closer look. Here we have him standing straight up and down in the light box, no crazy poses or accessories or anything like that. And honestly, I didn't really know how good or indeed how bad this figure was going to be. I'm fairly certain this is the first Zensation product I have ever reviewed on the channel. But it turns out back in the day they were pumping out some bangers. The head sculpt is on point, the outfit looks great, it's multi-layered, it's made of multiple different fabrics, and even the body being such an old style body, it works. What we are going to do now though is take him off the rotating turntable, punch in and take a closer look at the details. Here we have him up close and personal. Now just like Doctor Strange, there is a lot going on with this outfit. More on that though in just a second. Now starting off with the head sculpt first, because this is an older figure I was a little bit worried that the sculpt wasn't going to look decent in 2022. But boy was I wrong. Not only does this head sculpt look decent, I think it looks incredible. The skin texture, the paint applications for the cracking around the eyes, plus the sculpted in Dormammu symbol on his forehead. And not to mention that it does look like Mads Mikkelsen. Even with the longer hair, yeah, you can tell exactly who this is supposed to be. I also like the expression. It's slightly nonchalant, but also quite evil at the same time. Now, around the back, he does have the fully sculpted in ponytail, this isn't rooted hair, plus the dry brushing on the surface. Now, the dry brushing can be a little bit heavy-handed, but at the same time, it's on the back, so it's not something that's going to distract you when you're looking at the figure. Now, the shirt is all fabric, and that's definitely a good thing. It means you should be able to go crazy with the posing and not have to worry about creasing or cracking or damage of any type of pleather. Down below, he does have some ribbons for his forearms. Unfortunately, these do like to move around, so I would suggest dialing in the pose first, then adjusting them to look the way you want them to look. Now, his outer tunic is all this kind of dark orange, I guess, or a very dark yellow. He does have multiple little fabric tassels that hang down below. On one side, they hang straight down, whereas on the other, it's pinned up and in place. Now, as I said a moment ago, there is a lot going on. You've got the belts with the braided twine, some metal rings, these straps around the front, and multiple different styles of printed fabric. It all comes together to make for something that, yeah, is just very visually interesting. Down for the pants, once again, all grey fabric, and then an asymmetrical design for his boots. Now, unfortunately, this figure was released prior to the advent of split-cut boots. So yeah, it's all one fixed solid piece. Which is kind of unfortunate because this design almost perfectly suits a split-cut boot. You can have this piece slide down over the top, then articulate the foot underneath. At the very least, it is nicely painted with a ton of washes on the surface. On the underside, you do have some fully sculpted in tread. So, as it turns out, even though this guy is an older figure, yeah, I think he looks very good. Now for a quick side-by-side comparison, here we have Kaecilius on the left, by Sensation, and the original Hot Toys Doctor Strange on the right. And as you can see, Mr. Doctor is ever so slightly taller. Now in real life, Mads Mikkelsen and Benedict Cumberbatch are the exact same height. So where is the height discrepancy coming from? Now I think it's down to the boots. Doctor Strange's boots are really chunky, whereas Kaecilius's are a lot thinner. At the end of the day, does it affect displayability for me? No. Not really. Next up, here we have Toys Battalion's Ancient One, and as you can see, she is shorter than Kaecilius. Now I'm pretty sure in real life Tilda Swinton isn't as short as she is here in 1/6 scale, but once again, it doesn't affect displayability, for me at least, in the least. Now I can't tell you how long I've waited to have Kaecilius, Ancient One, and Doctor Strange all displayed together. Now I still want a Wong and a Mordo, but for now, having the three big marquee main characters from the movie all in the collection, yeah, I'm pretty happy. Just going over articulation. Now bear in mind this is my personal copy of the figure, so I'm going to be a little bit more careful. I'm sure when you get yours in hand, you can push the joints slightly further than I am willing to go. Now starting off with the head sculpt, it is on a ball joint at the base of the head. Looking forward and back, swivel and then pivot side to side. The arms will go up to there, they will go forward and back, butterfly joint at the shoulder that unfortunately doesn't give you a ton of range. You do have a single bend at the elbow that incorporates a swivel, and then of course a regular 1/6 scale wrist peg. The torso will crunch forward and back, swivel and pivot side to side. The legs go forward to there, going out to there, swivel at the upper thigh, double bend at the knee that does get you the full way, and of course a ball joint down here for the ankle. Unfortunately, it is one fixed solid boot though, so you don't really get any range. Just wrapping up on the third-party Caecilius by Zensation. Now, at the start of this review, I didn't really know what to expect. Was he going to be a good figure, a great figure, or somewhere in between? Well, it turns out he's incredible. Starting off with the accessories first, he doesn't come with a ton, but at the very least the blades are die-cast, and so too is the sling ring. Honestly, that's something I was expecting from Hot Toys with their Doctor Strange figures, but to date they've all been made out of plastic. Now, the body on this guy is old, but it's no slouch. It still is very well articulated and the proportions are pretty darn good. Now, the head sculpt is very clearly the icing on the cake, as it should be because it's the focal point of the entire figure. It's Mads Mikkelsen through and through, that is Caecilius, all the way down to the cracking, decaying flesh around his eyes with this subtle metallic glint. The skin texture, the way the hair is sculpted, yeah, it checks a ton of my boxes. The only question that I am now posing to myself is, Justin, why on earth did you not get off your butt and pick up this figure? Because, as I've said a couple of times, he is sensational. I'm so sorry I had to do it. The figure is really good. If you are looking to grab him, I don't really know where you can find him. I got mine off a local Facebook group. Try eBay, try your Facebook groups, and let me know how you go down below. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe and bell notification icon so you're notified as soon as a brand new review, third-party Hot Toys or otherwise, goes live on the channel. Check out the join button for more info on Justin's collection plus the channel memberships if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment and subscribe and I'll catch you in the next video.